Welcome to the Christian Spiritualism channel. In this video, I'd like to share some thoughts on orthodoxy and heresy in Christianity. A major concern of mine, which I had to resolve before becoming a spiritualist, was, do I follow the Christian orthodoxy I'd been taught, or accept the new beliefs I found in spiritualism that I felt God had led me to find? The Christianity I'd been taught left me with many unanswered questions and certain beliefs that made no sense to me. Spiritualism provided the answers and the clarity I had prayed I would find. But would my departure from a mainstream Christian orthodoxy be a strain from God? Would becoming what my church called a heretic separate me from God? After a lot of prayerful consideration and research, the answer for me was no, it would not. So, what is orthodoxy and what is heresy? And do they matter to God? To simplify a few definitions found in various dictionaries, orthodoxy is a generally accepted or established theory, practice, or doctrine. In Christianity, a group's orthodoxy generally includes their accepted creeds, a statement of faith, and other beliefs. Not all groups within Christianity share the same orthodoxy. Differences in beliefs among Christians have created the many groups and denominations within Christianity. There is no one Christian orthodoxy that's accepted by all Christian churches, although their core beliefs may be the same or very similar. Heresy is what may be considered to be an insider term. Whatever is contrary to a certain orthodoxy is a heresy to those within the church that follows that orthodoxy. Anyone believing and or practicing a heresy is considered a heretic by that particular group. In the early centuries of Christianity, and long before the printing press was invented, only about 10% of the population were literate. The remaining 90% of the people had to rely on someone else, and usually their church leaders, to read the scriptures to them. Christians were taught they should not look to any source other than the church for biblical understanding and spiritual guidance. That teaching has continued on in Christianity to the present. I was taught by mainstream Christianity that if a person doesn't follow the orthodoxy of the church, or even if they question any teaching of the church, they are committing a sin and are thereby separated from God. Christians follow the life example and teachings of Jesus, who was a Jew and grew up learning the orthodoxy of Judaism. The Bible tells us Jesus regularly attended a Jewish synagogue on the Sabbath and sometimes taught there beginning when he was 12 years old. According to the New Testament Gospels, Jesus had conflicts with the Jewish leaders of the time. Some of his teachings and practices conflicted with what they taught. To those Jewish leaders, Jesus, his disciples, and all of his followers were heretics. Christianity's orthodoxy didn't begin to officially form until nearly 300 years after the death of Jesus. In 325 CE, the Roman Emperor Constantine assembled hundreds of Christian bishops in what became known as the First Council of Nicaea. Even the early Christians had differences in beliefs and practices. Constantine wanted the church bishops to work out those differences and come to an agreement. He wanted religious unity in his empire. The council established the first official creed of Christianity's doctrine, the Nicene Creed. Anyone who refused to follow it, which included a few of the church leaders who were part of the council, were deemed heretics and were banned from the Roman Empire. Subsequent church councils established additional elements of early Christian church doctrine. In the 11th century, the Christian church divided into the Roman Catholic Church and the Eastern Orthodox Church due to differences regarding orthodoxy. Then, in the 16th century, the Reformation caused further division in the church, leading to Protestant Christianity, which includes thousands of denominations throughout the world today. Up until about 1960, the Roman Catholic Church considered all Protestants to be heretics. Then Protestants became designated as separated brethren, and more recently referred to as other Christians by the Roman Catholic Church. The fractionization of Christianity into many groups and denominations is evidence that people search for the spiritual truth and knowledge of God that is understandable and acceptable to them. God never changes, but our understanding of God can change and should, as God reveals himself to each one of us according to our ability to better understand him. Does God really care about orthodoxy and heresy? I don't believe he does. Orthodoxy and heresy in any religion are defined by man, not by God. The orthodoxy of a religion or church is merely a formalized consensus of opinions decided upon by its leaders. That doesn't make it truth. A church may claim its doctrines and practices come directly from God, but if that's true, why then do churches with differing doctrines each make that claim? Does God change his mind? Is God inconsistent? According to many verses in the Bible, including Malachi 3:6 and James 1:17, God never changes. The Bible doesn't say we must follow a church doctrine to live right in God's sight, so those who choose to not follow one can't be faulted for biblical reasons, can they? If you're concerned about having beliefs contrary to Christian orthodoxy, consider this. Jesus, his disciples, the Apostle Paul, all of the very early Christians, and later the Reformers, were each considered to be a heretic during their lifetime. God created each one of us with intelligence, an ability to reason, and a free will to use in order to determine what is right and best for our life, our spiritual growth, our inner peace, and our relationship to God. Spiritualism agrees with this way of thinking and therefore has no doctrine. Spiritualism does not believe anyone should be compelled to worship God in any particular way. Should a person follow the orthodoxy of a church? If you answer yes, then you should. That's what's right for you spiritually. But I'd rather not rely on church orthodoxy for divine guidance. And here's a story in closing to illustrate why. When the famous Italian astronomer Galileo died in 1642, the Christian Church denied him a burial of prominence because the Church had declared Galileo a heretic about a decade earlier. Why was Galileo branded a heretic by the Catholic Church? The Church decided a certain theory of his went against a belief of the Church they claimed was clearly taught in the Bible. And what was Galileo's heretical theory? Galileo had discovered the earth revolves around the sun. The Catholic Church and its Pope were certain the Bible says the earth is the center of the universe, so certain, in fact, that belief was part of church orthodoxy. Thank you for watching. If you found this video interesting, please give it a like, subscribe to this channel, and click on that little bell for notification of new videos. Please tell your friends about this channel too. May God bless you and guide you, and may you enjoy your spiritual journey. Bye for now.